In the sun-baked deserts of North America lies a creature so unusual, so downright peculiar, that it seems to have been dreamt up by an eccentric painter, or perhaps conjured from a fable. With a face that only a mother could love, and a body encased in spikes. A misnomer, as we shall see, because in fact, it is not a toad at all, but a lizard. A delightfully confounding reptile that has mastered the art of survival in one of the world's most unforgiving environments. Welcome to the world of the horned toad. The horned lizard, genus Phrynosoma, is a creature of contradictions and curiosities. Its name may sound fierce, yet it is quite small, measuring only around 3 to 5 inches in length. It's not a toad, despite its name, nor is it precisely the ferocious little dragon it resembles. And yet, this lizard is armed with an arsenal of defensive tricks that would put many larger creatures to shame. But before we get into the horned lizard's quirky survival tactics, let us first get to know it a bit better. The horned lizard inhabits a range of arid habitats, from the scrubby plains of Texas to the high deserts of Arizona, and as far as Central America. Yet, the first challenge of spotting one is simply finding it. You see, the horned lizard has evolved to blend almost seamlessly into its surroundings. Its body, you'll notice, is squat and low to the ground, covered in sandy-colored scales that vary from light brown to reddish hues, mimicking the rocks and earth around it. This, along with its flattened body, allows it to hunker down against the ground and disappear right before your eyes. And here we see the first hint of the horned lizard's brilliance, a creature that knows when to stay out of sight. Predators in these harsh regions are numerous, from hawks and eagles circling above to sneaky snakes and hungry coyotes prowling below. Camouflage, then, is the first line of defense, an essential survival skill for a creature as vulnerable as this. But as we take a closer look, we see that the horned lizard's anatomy offers more than mere concealment. Its most striking feature is its crown of horns, sharp and fearsome-looking, jutting out from the back of its head like a crown of thorns. Each species of horned lizard has its own particular arrangement of horns, some long and slender, others short and stubby, but all designed to give the illusion of something far too formidable to eat. The horns are made of bone and, contrary to what some may believe, are not merely for show. These horns can actually be quite effective in deterring predators, especially those that may try to swallow the lizard whole. One poke of those horns in the mouth, and a hungry snake may well decide that lunch simply isn't worth it. Yet, the horns are only the beginning of the horned lizard's armory. When threatened, it flattens its body even further against the ground, increasing its surface area, making it look bigger and fiercer than it actually is. Some even vibrate slightly when cornered, creating the illusion of a larger, more intimidating animal. Now, what does the horned lizard eat, you ask? Unlike many of its reptilian cousins, this little creature is not after rodents or small birds. It's actually rather single-minded when it comes to food. Horned lizards are ant specialists. They prefer ants to anything else. particularly harvester ants, which form vast colonies across the dry, sun-drenched landscapes where the horned lizard makes its home. Let us return to our discussion of self-defense, because the horned lizard has saved its most remarkable and rather grotesque trick for last. If a predator, let's say a coyote, has managed to get past the camouflage, the horns, and the flattening display, the horned lizard has one more trick up its sleeve. It can squirt blood from the corners of its eyes. Yes, you heard that correctly. This little lizard has evolved the astonishing ability to shoot a stream of blood laced with foul-tasting chemicals directly at its attacker. The horned lizard has long held a special place in the cultures of the American Southwest. Indigenous tribes revered it, telling stories of its strange and wondrous ways. To the people of these arid lands, the horned lizard symbolized endurance, resilience, and a connection to the earth. Stories of its blood-squirting defense and its spiny armor captured the imagination of those who shared its desert home. But today, this tenacious little creature faces new challenges. The spread of agriculture and urban development has reduced its natural habitat, and invasive fire ants threaten its food supply. As a result, several species of horned lizard are now protected, and conservationists work tirelessly to preserve their habitat, to ensure that the horned lizard will continue to prowl the deserts for generations to come. The horned lizard is a marvel of nature, a strange ancient creature that has adapted itself, quite literally, in all the right places to survive a world of extremes. It is a reminder of the creativity of life, of the many ways that creatures have found to thrive in even the harshest of environments. And so, as we leave the deserts of the American Southwest behind, we carry with us a deep appreciation for the horned lizard, a spiky little survivor with a crown of horns, a taste for ants, and one of nature's most extraordinary defense mechanisms. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.